Hello friends. I was thinking about doing another Q&A video today just because I have a lot of photographs I want to get taken, and this is kind of what helps me get through it, just because that's, to me, the most boring part of reselling is the actual processing of the items. So yeah, I'm gonna bring you guys along while I do it and answer some questions to kind of just break it all up. So right now I'm kind of just out and about. I went to my therapy appointment, and this morning we went to an award ceremony at our kids' school. So it's already kind of late in the day. It's actually 1:30. So I have not done much reseller related things other than my therapy appointment is not too far from Once Upon a Child, and I sold to them yesterday. So I had another $10 off coupon on my account. So I stopped in there just to see if I could find a pair of shoes to flip, which I did. So what I found were these little baby Jordans. Sadly, it looks like they are starting to price some of them up. There were others in the store, just not in as good of condition, still priced around $8.50, $9.50, but these were the only ones I actually wanted. So I did still pay $10 out of pocket, $10.82 with tax, but I think it was worth it because I saw some comps around anywhere from like 35 to 65, even pre-owned, and there was none listed in this toddler 4 right now on eBay. So, well, there was 2 listed, but they were new, around $100. So I think I'm gonna probably price these around $50 and expect around $40. So even to pay $10, I think that was a good deal. The only other pair of shoes I saw in there today that I might have purchased was a pair of Minnie Mouse native shoes, and those were $11. So I would have paid $1, but I think those would have only sold maybe $20 to $25. So I think even though I paid $10 out of pocket for these, I'm going to end up profiting a little bit more than if I would have grabbed the natives. And then I came over here to Starbucks, and I want to thank, I believe it was Ari. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but thank you so much for buying me this coffee. I am enjoying it, and it's such a beautiful day out. So enjoying my coffee for a few minutes in the car. I'll answer a couple questions. The first one I remember seeing was, do I have set hours that I work, or just like random every day? Or does it like change every day? And honestly, yeah, it definitely changes every day. Like I said, today it's 1:30 and I haven't really done anything at all, just because, you know, right now we're 1 week left of school. So just this whole month of May has been kind of crazy as far as so many school activities. So I've been doing a lot of work on the weekends just to kind of make up for the times I'm not getting to work when we're doing all the school activities. So yeah, every single day is different. I never ever have a set schedule. You know, when I do have a set schedule, it doesn't go to plan, and then that just frustrates me. So I just allow myself to kind of wake up, make the plan, most important to least important that I need to get done that day, and then just go from there. So that's kind of what I do for that. The next question was, do I always take cash at the buy sell trade stores, or sometimes do I do store credit? So I definitely do both. Like yesterday I said I sold to Once Upon a Child. They gave me $170 and some change for, I believe, 108 items. And yesterday I did also have a $10 off coupon, so I used that, but the pair of shoes I bought yesterday was also $20. So I paid $10 out of pocket, but out of pocket of the money they were giving me. So in that case, I did kind of both. I took cash and credit. When I do Uptown Cheapskate, they usually only give me 40 or 50 bucks. So I almost always just use that because they give you a little bit more if you buy something in the store. So I usually just do that because I find a pair of shoes or two that I can usually flip for quite a bit more than the cash amount. And then Play-Dohs, I usually do a little bit of both. You know, I always go in just thinking I'm going to take the cash, but if I'm shopping around the store, I almost always find something that I can flip for, let's say, 50 bucks or more, in which case I'm obviously going to buy that. So yeah, I definitely do both. The next question is, how long do I spend photographing and listing every day? And this one is also just kind of random. So I don't list every day, and I don't photograph every day. So it's hard to say. I do know, I've kind of mentioned, about 10 listings can take me about an hour to get them listed, and that's once I already have the drafts and the photographs and everything. So let's say, you know, if I'm doing 20 listings a day, let's say about 2 hours for listing time. Photographing, it depends on what it is. Shoes are going to take longer because I have some more prep to do when getting them ready. But clothes, if I already have them hung on my rack, which obviously hanging takes a little bit of time too, but if they're hung on the rack ready to go, I can get through clothes pretty quick. Let's say like 100 in like 2 to 3 hours. So it really just depends. But every single day. I honestly don't think I work more than like maybe 3 to 4 hours on like those type of tasks. I really do need to get home and get started on some photographs, but I'm not too far from Plato's Closet, and I know I have a $10 off coupon on my account there as well. So I think I'm gonna pop in really quick and hopefully find one thing that I can flip for more. And I did see a gas station for $2.89 right by Plato's on my way over, so I think I'm gonna get some gas on my way home, and I will just catch up with you guys at the house. I am back, and I did find something to buy with my Plato's coupon. So these Teva sandals were $15, so after the coupon I spent $5.41. I think I'm gonna list these around $39.95. These are a little nicer because they're leather. They're in pretty good condition, so $39.95. I think, you know, I usually have a sale running and send offers to watchers, so I'm expecting close to 30, maybe up to 35 out of these. But they should sell quickly because of the time of year. So probably around a $20 profit once these sell, which I think is great. And then I've got some stuff set up to do between sets of questions. So I got some shoes ready, although this is only like half of them. Some of them still have numbers on the bottom. So I've recruited Chris's help to get those numbers off because I got my nails painted a couple days ago and I don't want to mess them up yet. So he's currently picking the boys up from school though. So as soon as he gets back, he will work on that for me. So I'm gonna start here. This is some of the clothes I showed you guys in the bins haul last. So I wanna get those photographed. I didn't count them, but I want to at least like photograph 25 clothing items, I think. So if I get through that and I haven't done 25, I will grab some from the rack behind the camera here that you can't see, but it's completely stuffed full. So I have plenty to choose from. Well, I got some things photographed, just not as much as I had hoped, but that's okay. So I will just do some more later, but let's jump into some more questions right now. This one actually goes along well with what we were just doing. It says, where do you photograph and do you wait for good lighting? So I photograph right here on this wall. All the clothes get hung there. And then later on when I do shoes, I'll just move this table up against the wall so the background is still the same wall. As far as lighting, I don't wait for good lighting. In fact, I actually took the photos at the worst time of day. I always forget, right about 4 p.m. until like dark time. It just casts a weird shadow on this wall and I just don't like how the photos look. So that's kind of why I stopped with the 15 I've done so far, and I'll just resume later on. The lighting that we have that I really, really love, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's on the ceiling here. This one's falling down. We need to push it back up, but these are just from Amazon and I swear by them. I do most of my photos usually after dark and I think they look great. So that is what I do for lighting. Next question says, how do you stay consistent in listing so many items every week? And honestly, I think just because I have to. So I've just trained myself to do it because if I don't, we won't have enough money to pay our bills. So yeah, I really try to remind myself every day when I wake up, this is my job. If I don't do this, I'll have to go get a different job, an actual job where somebody else is paying me. So yeah, I don't want to do that ever again. So I'm like, I gotta list my items. So that's really the easy answer for that one. Next question is actually perfect because it actually happened twice just today. It says, how do you deal with the haters saying you don't have a real job? So yeah, this morning I woke up and one of my reels on Facebook had taken off a little bit. And whenever that happens, all of the crazies come out, all of the mean comments, all of everybody's opinions about things they don't know anything about start coming out. So I guess how I deal with it is, well, at this point, I've had enough therapy. So I still, when it happens, I'll go to therapy, talk about it, let it go. But I'm able to kind of tell myself now that it's people saying mean things is more of a reflection of themselves and it has nothing to do with me personally. So I am able to not take it as personally as I did in the beginning. So yeah, and then I think I just try to like make, I don't know, humor out of it. Like I will often respond to them usually in different ways. So the two that I got today, the first one I responded well, her comment just says, get a real job with a bunch of exclamations. And I responded, been there, done that. I'm much happier with my fake job. So I thought that was funny. And then the other one says, why don't you get a real job, ... And then I just responded, like what? So, and of course, that person has not responded back to me as of what she would consider me getting a real job would be. But I don't know. Honestly, when you think about it, it's just, what is a real job? Like, I'm pretty sure no matter what answer anybody would give, it would be explaining exactly what reselling is. So I don't know what people think a real job is. Actually, let's Google it right now. Or ask ChatGPT. Let's see. What is a real job? All right. ChatGPT says a real job usually refers to steady employment that provides a regular paycheck, often with taxes withheld, and may include benefits like health insurance or retirement contributions. People often use the term to mean a job that's recognized by society as stable, responsible, traditional, like being a teacher, plumber, accountant, or nurse. But in reality, any job that provides income through legal, productive work is a real job. Whether it's 9 to 5, running your own business, freelance gig, online reselling, content creation, or working part-time. The phrase is often used unfairly to diminish non-traditional work, so the better question is, does it provide value and meet your goals? If yes, it's a real job. I love that. So that is literally kind of what I always talk about in therapy, that I feel like this job provides so much more value than anything else I could even do. Like, I do have a college degree in sociology, and I think any job that I would get, not only would I get paid less, but, you know, I would probably be helping people in that type of a field. But the amount of you guys that just like tell me that I've helped you in one way or another is like so much more than I think I could ever help individual people doing social work or anything like that. So I think all of those reasons is what helps me deal with the haters and keep pressing on. Like, all of your guys' positive comments outweighs so much more than these negative comments. This next question is a little bit lighter. So it just says, what are a few of my favorite TV shows? And I think my absolute all-time favorite is One Tree Hill. Other shows I kind of watch over and over again are Dexter, How to Get Away with Murder. I like Criminal Minds. I would watch that over and over. I don't know where to watch it right now. I like Gilmore Girls. I like Pretty Little Liars. But yeah, honestly, most shows today, like, I haven't really gotten into much of any new shows. Like, me and Chris have been watching Tracker, which I do like, but I don't know, it doesn't compare to those other ones I just mentioned. And yeah, we recently watched The Night Agent. I kind of liked that, but again, like, these newer shows with like a lot less seasons, it's just sad. And like, then just constantly waiting for the new episode every week I'm not patient. So anyways, if you guys like any of those shows I mentioned and have any recommendations similar to those, I would love them, because I am getting a little bored of watching the same stuff over and over. So yes, please let me know. This next question says, do you ever just need to take a break from reselling? So actually, the last week or two, I do feel like I just need a break. Obviously, I can't just stop doing what I'm doing, because this is our sole income, the reselling, the content creation, and all of that. So yeah, I need a break, but it is like the question earlier, how do I stay so consistent? Because I have to. So as much as I need a break, I can't necessarily take a break. I mean, we are going to go to California this summer. I'm going to hopefully try my hardest not to do any reselling work during that time, but I haven't decided if I'm turning my stores off completely. So, I might have to respond to messages here and there, and I'm debating not like doing any new listings, but maybe at least doing like some sell similars to keep my stores active. I don't know. I'm so scared to turn off my stores for 2 weeks. But honestly, I probably should, just because it will be a really, really nice break, and we probably all really, really need that. So yeah, I definitely sometimes need a break, but I just keep pushing through because I have to. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to go to dinner with my family. I don't know where we're going, but it's Friday night, so we like to go somewhere. This question says, do you wash items to list? So this is probably one of the most hot topics in the reseller community. And I don't know why, because in my opinion, it's like, I don't know, like last summer, I remember a lot of mean comments towards me on one of like my bin hauls, because you know how I sort sometimes down at the bottom, and I'll be like, this is for Play-Dohs, this is for Once Upon a Child, this is to wash, this is to list right away. At that time, another reseller had made a big video about how you are absolutely required on eBay to wash every single item per the manufacturer's instructions, and note that down in your eBay listing or you're breaking eBay's rules. So, I very, very, very much disagreed with his whole video, but yeah, at that time, there was just so many people that were like, you're right, and about his video, that he's right, and that's what everyone needs to and should be doing. But when this question was asked to me on my Instagram, because I know that nobody's doing that, right? And I'm saying nobody as in, obviously there's some people that are probably doing that, but the vast majority, there's no way that we're doing that. So I had to do a poll on my Instagram, and I will put the stats up here. So yeah, I just asked my following on Instagram the same question, and what I ended up getting was 89% said no, they do not, and 11% said yes. Do you wash every single piece of clothing you thrift before selling it? And the percentages were 659 people were the no's, and 81 people were the yeses. So my answer is no, definitely not. I wash the things that need washed. I'm team. Most people are donating from their clean clothes, not their dirty ones. But even still, I also think that so many people have different laundry preferences in today's day. So, I mean, for me to wash every single item, that would just be wasting my time and resources, like my own laundry stuff that the person might then complain about and or have some sort of allergic reaction to, who knows. So I feel like I'm very, very good at what I do, and I don't list dirty, disgusting things. Do you know what I mean? So, and I believe that of all of you as well. So no, I definitely do not wash everything, but I do definitely wash anything that needs washed. So hopefully that answered your question, and I'm sure I'm probably going to get a couple mean comments about it, but that's okay. Hello again. It's 2 days later now. So on Friday night, we went to In-N-Out and then just came home and watched the Minecraft movie. So, and then Saturday was just kind of a clean up the house, get everything in order sort of day. So now it's Sunday. It's about 2:30. We all went to church, and now it's just kind of everyone doing their own thing for a few hours till dinner. So I wanted to finish up this video, but also really wanted to get these shoes photographed because this is what I want to list the beginning of this week. So I am going to jump right into that, do a fast motion video of me hopefully photographing all of these shoes. I don't even know how many pairs it is, but it seems like a lot. And then I will pop back in with some more questions. Got 25 photographed, and now my phone's down to 3%. So we're going to pause for right now. I'm going to answer some questions, and then I'm going to get my phone charged up and probably do one last round because I did, you know, what was that, 25 plus I did 15 at the beginning. I want to at least do maybe 20 more minimum, but as many as I can in this last round because these will be my listings for the week. All right. First question. What's your budget for inventory each month? I don't actually have a budget. I mean, I kind of am pretty spending the same usually, which I think is, you know, when I do one big bins trip a week, it's usually 150-ish. And then I'll occasionally be at a normal thrift store and spend you guys have seen some of the recent ones, around $100, but it's not like every single week. So let's say I think I spend around $1,200 a month on everything that I purchase. And that's, before I take anything over to the buy, sell, trade stores and make some of it back instantly. But yeah, I don't necessarily have a budget. Like if I wanted to go spend more, I would. It's just I usually don't. Then the next one, the next two people basically asked the same question, which is, when in your reselling journey did you decide to make content? And then the other one is like, start YouTubing. So I don't know if I remember exactly. I know the YouTubing when and why, but the content in general, I think I just, I've mentioned kind of like being lonely, or this is a lonely job. So I think I heard about the reseller community on Instagram well before YouTube. So I was just starting to post my package pics. If you guys have been following me since then, it's kind of embarrassing to think about. If I can scroll back enough on my Instagram, maybe I'll put a picture here. But I used to like every single day post a picture of myself with my packages, which sometimes was only one or two. This is when my kiddos were really small, and I was more doing this as not necessarily a hobby. I was trying to do it more, but it wasn't, this is when it wasn't like our full-time job or anything at that point. So, yeah, so I think I started the Instagram just because of that, kind of wanting to find some community, some people doing the same thing as me. And then at that time on Instagram, like I wanted to grow my following to be able to post like links in my story. And at that time you had to have 10,000 followers on Instagram to be able to post any sort of links, which basically once I hit my 10K, maybe a few months later, it changed to anybody can put links. So honestly, I'm glad, because everybody should be able to have the same access to that. So, but yeah, I'm glad I still did it, because it was a challenge. I was posting regularly every single day, whatever I'm thinking about, I'm posting it just to have that consistency. And I was seeing growth on my Instagram, so I just kept it up. As far as YouTube, that was more of a Chris thing. He tried to get me to do it for years. Like basically once I started growing my Instagram following, he wanted me to do YouTube. And I was just like, no way. If you guys have been following since the beginning, you know how shy and awkward and I don't know what else words you would use for me back then, but it just wasn't going to happen. Like there was no way. Yeah, that version of myself was going to do anything like YouTube ever. But then COVID happened, and, we were just kind of like, well, we're stuck here at home. I guess if there's any time we're going to do it, this is the time we're going to do it. So I think the first video we ever made was like a what sold. So we just did it. It was super embarrassing. If you want to go back that far and watch it and be secondhand embarrassed for me, go ahead. I don't want to, but yeah, he just filmed it and we put it up, and I shared it onto my Instagram that, hey, I made a YouTube video if anyone wants to check it out. So that's kind of how that started. And I think for a while there, we were doing like every single day what sold, which obviously eventually led to like a big burnout for both of us. And, throughout the years, there's been many of those burnouts that happen. And we just kind of, at that time, readjust, figure out what's most important in our lives and do that. So yeah, that's kind of how the YouTube got going. And I think because, my Instagram probably got me a few YouTube followers to begin with. And then Becky Park had us as a guest on her channel way back then, which I think helped us get a really good boost right in the beginning as well. And so we were able to get like monetized pretty quickly, I think within 3 months of starting our channel, which was awesome. But if you guys know anything about YouTube monetization, it's not great. It definitely at the beginning, when you're just getting, let's say, a few hundred views a video, you're probably making like cents, maybe a couple bucks. So even though we got monetized within 3 months, it was probably a good year or so before we were ever seeing any like legitimate, okay, this could be like a little side income, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how it all started. And looking back at that, I'm so glad we did it. And that's now a financial part of our business, which is great. But it's also just for my personal self. I've grown a lot throughout these years, just because of the YouTube channel. So I'm really grateful for it. Next question is, how did you get started on your health journey? So if you're new here, you may not know this, but it's been about 3 years now. I just talked about having burnouts every now and again. And there came a point where one of them was weight related. I have since lost 50 pounds. So that was, like 3 years ago. I lost 40 of those pounds probably that first year. So only about 10 in the last 2 years. But how I got started, I think, has to do kind of with the YouTube. At that point, Chris was editing all the videos. I couldn't even look at myself, honestly. I did not want to see myself how I was. I didn't want to picture you guys seeing me how I was. And so that was just kind of like eating away at me every day. Like, not only how I looked, but like how I felt. Our old house, we had one staircase and all of my inventory was up there, and literally every day it was a challenge for me to walk up my stairs one time. Like, I'm out of breath by the time I walk up 15 stairs. Do you know what I mean? So I think there was just one day where I just couldn't take it anymore. I was just like, this can't be the rest of my life. And I just decided to do something about it. So I don't exactly remember how, but Chris felt the same. So we joined a gym. We started going for a while together. He didn't really feel comfortable in a gym with a lot of other people. So he stopped going with me, but I did continue to go. Mostly I think because I was just starting to watch TikToks and stuff while I was exercising, and a lot of them were doing the same thing that I was trying to do, just trying to lose some weight. And they were just really motivating to me. Like, a lot of them were the ones that you see that are like, in 2 weeks you'll feel it, in 6 weeks you'll hear it, you know what I mean? So and that started to become true for me. So I started feeling a lot better. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it was just such a good feeling after those first month or two. Even though a ton of weight hadn't come off yet, I just mentally felt so much better. So I knew I had to continue, and I'm so glad I did. I mean, now I feel great. I would still like to lose some more weight. Honestly, I was talking to my doctor about that this last week. And so I'm going to try some new things. I still exercise regularly. I've been trying to eat much better, cutting out processed foods as much as I can. But I just feel like I've been in a rut with that for the last year or two, and I'd like to make some more progress there. So to answer your question, I guess it just felt like it was time, so okay, my phone's at 1% now, so these last two kind of go together, so I'm gonna read them both, answer them, and then put my phone on the charger for a bit. So one says, what does your hubs do for work? And then, what was your former desk job that you sometimes refer to? So if you guys remember in the last Q&A, I kind of told you the story about my aunt passing and how I had to stop my job, at least for a month, and go out to California and take care of her estate. So the job I had at that time, and that was I've had a few tiny jobs here and there, but that was my main job straight out of I did that from 18 years old until 25, so about 8 years or so. And it was an office manager at an optometrist's office. I started out as a tech, just somebody that does the pre-testing. If you've ever been to have your eyes examined, the person that blows air in your eye, teaches you how to wear contacts, stuff like that. So that was kind of my job. And then within a couple years of being a tech, they asked if I wanted to be the office manager. So then my tasks became more doing insurance billing and just making sure the accounts receivable was as low as it could be. So that's what my job was before this, and honestly, it was a great job. I loved the doctor that I worked for. He was a great man. So if the stuff didn't happen with my aunt, I could still be there. I actually think he retired this last year, but I wasn't necessarily in a hurry to leave that job. So, and then Chris, right now, for the last several years, his job has been doing the content creation for us. So all the videos you guys have seen up until a few months ago was Chris putting them all together, filming them, kind of following me around. Whatever I was doing, he would film it and try to make sense of it for you guys. And so previously to that, Chris had just different types of jobs, mostly maintenance related, or just like, I don't know, manual labor. Like he really loves to work with his hands. So when we first started dating, he worked for a cabinet shop and like making custom kitchen cabinets, things like that. And then he moved on. I'm trying to remember. I think he's just working for a resort here in town, like a really nice resort, doing maintenance. And then he was always trying to like get a better paying job. So then he got a job for the local school district for doing maintenance. And then that's kind of when we bought our first house and moved out to the part of the city that we live in right now. And then, yeah, when the stuff happened with my aunt, he didn't quit his job right away, but within a couple months after I quit mine, he also quit his. And then he started just doing some more woodworking from home, custom furniture pieces for people in town. And then he started doing, there's a pretty cool place down in Manitou Springs, if you've ever been in Colorado, called Colorado Ski Furniture, and he was making all the wood bases for all of the chairs that they sell. So he just did that straight out of our garage. Every week he would do so many, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, right now Chris is my wingman. He does whatever needs done. So he doesn't technically have a job, I guess, but his job is being a great dad, being a great husband. And yeah, he's technically right now starting up his eBay store. I know we keep saying that, but he's trying really hard. He has been listing stuff on Facebook Marketplace and making a couple sales, and he has bought some things to get going on the bus. So yeah, thankfully what I'm doing with reselling and content pays us enough to where he doesn't have to go get a different job at this time. So we're very blessed. All right, it's a few hours later. My phone is now charged up. I got a bunch of laundry done, got some dinner made. If you guys haven't tried that like viral TikTok bowl with the ground beef, sweet potato, cottage cheese and avocado with like a hot honey drizzle, it's so good. You should definitely try that. So that's what I made for dinner. And then yeah, I am just ready to finish off the day strong. I think I counted 20 more pairs down here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and finish this off and not worry about anything else today, and then I'll just resume on some more clothes from my rack tomorrow. And after I do this pile, I will end off with just a few more questions. So let's get to photographing. Alrighty, I got those done. That was a challenge. I wanted to give up like a bunch of times, even though it only took like 30 something minutes. But anyways, I'm glad it's done. And actually I just counted and I think it was 24 instead of 20. So that's great. I do have a few more questions here. So let's do these and then I will finish off the video. This one says, any advice for reselling with young kids at home? I'm struggling. So yeah, I definitely get that. Actually, as I was looking through my old Instagram post today to show you guys like how I kind of started on Instagram, I saw ones with my kids as like little guys, and I just remembered how hard that was. And I wasn't even trying to do it full time or anything then, but if I remember correctly, and I feel like I still kind of do it this way, like you guys see me right now, it's almost 9 p.m. on a Sunday. I just do it in little pockets of time. Like if your baby's taking a nap, do what you can in that time. Sometimes I do remember a lot of late nights when they were littler. Like I would just wait until they were in bed and then just try to do 50 to 100 photos, in a few hours, and then kind of list those throughout the week whenever I could. So yeah, it's definitely hard though. I think that's probably just my best advice though, just kind of doing it whenever you can. Whenever you can sneak in a few minutes to do something, do that. This next one says, if you weren't reselling, what would you do? And I was thinking so hard about this at dinner, and I was even asking Chris, and I don't know. I mean, now that I've been a reseller for so long and I really, really just love this, I don't know. And now that I've been self-employed for so long, I just really cannot see myself going back to work for someone else. I just can't. I mean, before everything happened with my aunt and I had to like quit my job and everything, I was going to college. Well, I got my bachelor's in sociology and then I was going to go back for a master's in social work, but I don't even think I want to do that anymore. And even with the degree I have, I don't know if I would use that or just do something completely different. Like I really have to keep thinking on this one. Like I've been working on journaling in my personal life recently, and I'm going to add this to my journal prompts for sometime this week. So that's a great question, Rachel. If you're watching this, let me know what you would be doing. And if you guys don't follow Rachel Strickland, go follow her. She makes some really cool videos. So yeah. And anybody else watching this, what would you guys be doing if you weren't reselling? Let me know because I need some ideas just in case. I think these last ones are kind of good ones to end with, and they're basically the same question, just phrased differently. So this one says, if you could tell a new reseller one thing, what would it be? And the other says, what advice would you present to give yourself just starting out in reselling? So as I was thinking about this, the first thing that came to mind, was don't give up too soon, because I definitely have told a lot of friends about reselling. A few of them have tried it out, and they may have tried it out for like a week and that was it, not even enough time to make one sale. I think a lot of people get into it thinking it's just going to be easy money. It's definitely not easy money. I mean, it's pretty simple to do, but it takes a lot of work and consistency. So yeah, if you're starting new reselling and you list like a handful of items and don't sell them in a week or even a month, don't stop listing items. I mean, don't bankrupt yourself to list more items, but it takes a while to get in a groove. Like if I did not make sales at first. Like it took a while and I almost gave up, but I was like, what else do I have to do anyways? This is when I had all the clothes left over from that big garage sale I told you guys about in the last one. So everything was like paid for, it wasn't really much other than like listing items. So I just kept listing them, letting them sit there, just kind of understanding the platform, which at that time I was mostly doing Kitizen. So trying to understand how Kitizen works. I joined like the Facebook page to like make sure that I was doing it correctly and asking questions there. So yeah, I would say don't give up. If you're just unsure about anything, maybe reach out to somebody who's been doing it longer. There are so many pages on Facebook with just reseller chatter or on Instagram. You guys can always leave a comment here. I do my best to answer them. I know I don't get to all the comments and I'm sorry. I definitely do my best though. And I know a lot of times before I even get to it, somebody else has answered the question for you. So don't give up, reach out. And then the other thing that came to mind was don't compare yourself to anybody else. Like we're all living different lives and we're all going to resell differently. Like I definitely was comparing myself to people in the beginning and yeah, where's that going to get me? Nowhere. So now I don't even think about it. Like I love watching everybody else on YouTube that resells, and I don't have any negative thoughts ever about anybody else now. I'm just like, wow, we're all doing this and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think those are the two main things that I would tell a new reseller or myself just starting out. Okay, friends. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. This was probably a pretty long one. I did kind of plan it that way because I think this might be a light content week on YouTube for me. It's our kids' last week of school, and me and Chris decided I've had to cancel a couple orders on eBay and Poshmark recently just due to out of stock. Like I either misplaced the item or I sold it and forgot to delete it. So we decided we're going to go through every single box of inventory, make sure everything's on each platform, and then I'm also going to get off the spreadsheet once and for all by putting all the inventory locations into List Perfectly like I should have been doing from the beginning. So it's going to be a big task. I don't even know if I'm going to get my 100 listings up this week, but thankfully all the photographs we did during this video, that was like 60 something. I should at least be able to get those up. Shoes are really easy for me, so I definitely think I'll be able to get those up. So yeah. Anyways, I'm really excited to actually get this big task done. Like, I've wanted to go through the inventory since like January anyways, and it just hasn't happened. So yeah, I know there's a bunch of stuff in there that's probably not even listed anymore at this point, never got listed, who knows. And I'm sure there's some stuff listed on the platform still that I don't even have. So yeah, I'm really excited to just get it fresh, new, and then start kind of a new process with going forward with List Perfectly. Basically, I want to relink up. I've mentioned in the past with List Perfectly, if I do sell similars on eBay, it delinks the item ID, so then it would not auto delist. So right now my auto delist is turned off, but I want to turn it on. So I need to relink up all of my eBay and all of my Poshmark. So I want to make sure I have them all before I do that, and then I want to relink them, and then I will hopefully by the end of next week turn on auto delist. And then going forward, I can do the sell similars, I just have to go relink them right after. So I will just have to build that into my process if I want to do it. Yeah. So anyways, if you don't use List Perfectly, you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you want to use List Perfectly, we do have a code. So it's just a cross-listing service, and I really love it. I've been using it for years now, and Chris is always making fun of me because it has so many good features that I just do not take advantage of. Actually, this last few days, I've been finally using like the AI, the thing that writes up the listings for you. And while it doesn't put them in the order I like it does seem like it's helping me a lot to go through them a lot faster. So I do change a few things once it writes it for me, but I do kind of like that. So that's another thing I've been doing differently. And once I get that all figured out, I'll probably look into what other features I'm missing out on. So anyways, List Perfectly. We have a code if you want to try that. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys about some other stuff really quick. Usually when I do a video, people will ask about certain things that I use. So if you saw any of this stuff, this one gets questioned a lot. I love these little foot mannequins. They are from Amazon. So I've just been copying and pasting the description since Chris was doing it. And honestly, I don't even know if the Amazon links are correct anymore. So if you want these or any product that you've ever seen me use, write a comment specifically about what you want, and I will comment back to you with the exact link for the product to your comment. So yeah, these are great. I love shoe trees. These are just from Dealing with Dalton. I don't know if he still sells them. He probably does. If you want to go check him out. What else? Oh, this stuff. People always ask what I use to get the numbers off the bottom of shoes, and this is my favorite product. It is very abrasive, so you got to be careful. That's why I had Chris do them for the most part, so that it would definitely take my nail polish off. And yeah, it definitely leaves your hands feeling a little dry afterwards, so wash really good after you use this stuff. But I think it works great. Occasionally it won't take it off, but that's any product for the most part. And yeah, when that happens, I just usually Sharpie over it, but for the most part, this does take it off. I think that's it, guys. Hopefully I can get you at least another video out this week. I don't know. On Tuesday, I'm actually meeting up with Christy from Texas Mom's Closet. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of have a me day until the evening when I meet up with her, and then we're gonna go thrifting. So maybe I'll get some thrifting footage. No promises. I hope. I mean, I'm not planning to, but sometimes you're just shopping and finding stuff and you don't think about turning the phone on. So I don't think I'm going to do a Monday What's Sold this week because I want to get going on that project with Chris. Really, we only have, if I'm taking Tuesday as a me day, really we only have 3 days because our son graduates 5th grade. Our kid's going into middle school next year on Thursday, and he doesn't have school Friday. So yeah, 3 days of just getting that done, and it's a big project. So okay, guys, I'm rambling at this point. I appreciate you all so much. I hope that I answered the questions for you. If you have any new questions, more questions, leave them down below. I've been enjoying doing these, like I keep saying, so we'll do one in another week or two. So all right, guys, I hope you guys are having a good Monday. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.